I'm Vensan Cabardo. I'll be your main presenter for today. We're doing an introduction to Python. I am a grad student at NMSU. This is my first semester doing my master's degree. I just graduated with my bachelor's from NMSU as well. And yeah, that's pretty important stuff about me. I don't know.
Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Sitka, and I am a senior at NMSU studying computer science and applied math, and I'm helping Vensan out today for Introduction to Python.
Hello everyone. I'm gonna start off with a presentation and I'll explain a little bit about how this is gonna go, and hopefully this will go all smoothly, but bear with me if it doesn't. We're going to be talking about the basics of Python today, and hopefully we do this presentation in a way that's a little bit more fun. We're gonna make it a little more interactive. So what we're gonna do first is, and I'm gonna have you guys shout ready or yes or something in the chat once you have this link pulled up. But I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and click on this link that I put in the chat, replit./languages/python3, because we're going to be coding on Replit today. Replit is an online coding editor, and it has a lot of languages like Python, Java, lol code. I wonder if I have time to show you that, but there's a lot of cool things that you can do on Replit, and you don't have to make an account to run your code or anything. You can just jump right into it, but you can create an account if you want to save your code. So go ahead and click on that link. Let me know if you want me to send it again, and then can I make a poll? Oh no, okay. And when you're ready, just put a yes or something in the chat when you have that screen open, and then we can move on. Cool. See, a couple of people got it. Awesome. And you should see this screen. There should be an empty window here, and then a little black screen to the right of it. And some things over here.
Okay, perfect. I think we got a bunch of yeses and readies.
Readies, awesome, perfect. So we're going to talk let me put that. So there's some basics for every programming language, but we'll be talking specifically about Python today. But yeah, we'll be going over printing, variables, if-else statements, comments. Actually, don't think we're going over functions today. And loops, and maybe a little later we'll get to arrays. And it's totally okay if you don't understand or you don't recognize any of these terms or anything yet. And it's great if you do. We'll go over them now, and it'll be a nice little review for you. So some important things to remember with Python is that spacing is really important. And if any of you have ever coded in a different programming language, sometimes there will be brackets and to separate code, and you don't have to worry about spacing. But in Python, spacing actually changes the flow of your program, and you guys will see that in a little bit. I'll try and demonstrate that for you. But spacing matters is the important thing to remember. Spacing matters.
We have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Ashley is asking if there is a way to get a copy of the presentation.
Yes, okay, so I think I should be able to just send you guys, I don't know if there's a sheet or anything that you guys get access to at the end, but if not, I can just put the link to this presentation in the chat or something so you guys have a copy of it. And I can put links to the code that we'll use too if you would also like that. So yes, short answer.
Okay.
And yes, like I said before, no brackets. We're going to be using spaces. So when something's spaced over, that means that it's inside the function definition or if statement or something. And you guys will see that a little later, in case I'm not explaining it that well now. Okay, we're going to start. Okay, yes. So we're going to start writing our code. And this is just a little bit of kind of boilerplate, code that we need to generate a random number. And I'll explain how it works in a little bit. But for now, I'm going to have you guys go to Replit and type import And it'll have a little green squiggly under it. That's not an error or anything. It's just saying that you typed something, but you're not like using random yet. So no worries about that. So just type import random into your Replit window and then give a shout in the chat when you're ready. What this does is it allows you, Python has libraries, which is basically just like big collections of code that allow you to do certain things. And in this case, we want to use it to generate a random number for our number guesser. Did I mention that's what we're making? I don't think I did. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're going to make a sort of like number guessing game as our first little intro to Python thing. And you guys will see how that works as we go on.
We have a bunch of readies and one failed to connect.
Okay, so you might want to try and refresh the page, Richard, and see if that helps at all. But it looks like a ton of you are ready. I don't want to move on and leave anyone behind, but looks like a lot of you guys are ready.
Mm-hmm.
So, Richard, refreshing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let us know in the chat if that works out, and maybe we can, if it doesn't, maybe we can get you another room or something. And I'll move on. So, and I apologize if this presentation seems like all over the place. I'll be switching windows, and I do like to see chat, so it'll be like, it might be a little jumpy. Okay, so this is what we're gonna go over first. And every single, like almost every single time you like learn a new programming language, you write this thing called a hello world program, which basically is like your very first program in a new programming language, just so you can see like how it works and how to type certain things. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're just gonna print something. And what printing basically is it like puts whatever you put in here, it's gonna like put it on the screen. So for example, I'm gonna go over to Replit. I'm gonna do print, and then a quotation mark, number, guessing game. And then when you run it, you'll see that it'll end up on the screen here. And that's what printing does. You don't have to put any of these. I'm just trying to demonstrate. What's that? I don't know. And they'll end up on the screen. So for now, I'm gonna have you go to Replit, and we're gonna write this print statement. Print number guessing game, and then tell Sitka when you're ready. And yeah, don't be afraid if you have any questions or if I'm going too fast or anything like that, just shoot Sitka a message in the chat and she'll tell me.
Yep. We have 2 readies, waiting on a couple others.
No worries, no rush. We got plenty of time. I think we have till like 12:15, right? For our lunch break or whatever.
I think so.
Cool. Lunch sounds good.
Yes, it is supposed to print out number guessing game on the black screen.
Yes, you'll see the words, like whatever you put in these little quotation marks, you should see it on your screen.
If it does not, what might I be doing wrong? So make sure you have copied the exact line of code. Make sure you don't have any spelling mistakes. Don't forget the quotes. Is it giving you some error or something? Click on the run button. Oh yeah, you should remember to click on the run button.
Oh, did I mention that? Yes, definitely. After you do anything new and you want to see if it works, you can just press on this green little run button here. And I should mention that I didn't have you guys like make accounts just for like simplicity's sake. But if you did want to save your code, you could sign up for a new account. And an account gives you access to like all sorts of different programming languages. And I'm wondering if I can see to like I probably won't be able, oh, here, no. I probably won't be able to see, but I can show you later. There's a ton of, I guess I can just, hold on. Just open a new tab. That's it. So if for your projects you wanted to like test something out or run something in Replit, there's a whole ton of languages here. And let's see if we can see them while we wait. Yeah, Python, Node, C, Java, C++, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Kotlin, more Python, Swift, Crystal, Elixir. I don't even know some of these. SQL, that's cool. TypeScript, CoffeeScript, Python graphics. Cool. My favorite programming language. Oh wait, what? What is this? I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Are you guys ready to move on?
Yeah, I think everyone's ready to move on.
Okay, cool. We can maybe during our break or something, we'll have a little break and we can look over that and I'll try to type something in long code. So I want to ask before we move on, or before I like really delve into this, if anyone knows what a variable is, like if anyone can tell me what a variable is, that's okay.
So we have a couple of answers. You can assign
Okay,
a variable to a word or number. That's true.
Yes.
A letter that represents a number. Sure. Yep.
Yes.
A storage location that can change its value. That's a really good definition.
I love that one.
To assign to a word. Yeah, in a way, you can assign a variable name to a word.
Yeah, those are really, really good answers. You guys are on it. And yeah, I love that one about it saying that variables are like a storage place. Storage place, is that the word they use?
Mm-hmm. Storage location.
That's really good because that's essentially all variables are. If you like break a computer down to its like really fundamentals, you'll have memory, right? And variables are basically just like a little point in memory where you store stuff. So for example, here we're storing 5. We say like check it in memory so we can keep track of it. And then we're going to use X to see that spot in memory, if that makes sense. So like anytime you wanted to like access this variable, you would use these names like X and Y, and then we're just printing them here. But yeah, that's the important thing to remember is variables are like storage places for numbers or words. Some of you guys said words. For a lot of different data types. I don't think we go over data types, but that's really good. So what we're gonna do is we're going to add some variables into our program to store things that we need for our number guessing game. So how this is gonna work is we're gonna generate a random number, and then we're gonna have the user or whoever plays your game to guess a number. And say the number is 3. They could guess any number, and if they guess lower, we'll say, hey, guess higher. And if they guess higher, then we'll say, hey, guess lower. And we'll give them a certain amount of chances. So that's what this is. So we'll go back. And we'll, oh, this is the emoticon one. So we'll go here and we'll type in the variables that we need. Number equals random dot rand 1 to 9. So what this does is it generates a random number from 1 to 9, and it sticks it in a storage place and labels it number. Like I think we use cubbyhole for arrays, but it kind of works. You just like generate a random number between 1 and 9, so 1, 2, 3, anything like that, and that'll be whenever you use number, it'll be this like random number here. And you can change this to be anything. It could be like 17 and 945. It could be anything, and if you wanted to see what this result is, you could just print it like we did up here. But this time we print the variable, and you'll see that this should be a random number between 17 and 945. And this will be a random number between 1 and 9. Does anyone have any questions about how this works? Am I going too fast? Every time you click run, it'll be a different random number, which is really good if you wanted someone to replay your game. They could just click run again. It'll be a completely different number.
It gave someone an error. What error did it give you?
Not cool, but we can help you. Yeah, could you describe the error for us? And maybe we can help you out. Sure thing. Let me put the code back up just so you can make sure that, let me close this, so that it has like exactly the syntax, or make sure that it's exactly what I have here on my screen, because otherwise it might give you a problem. Like if, for example, I had, like if I left this parenthesis off and I tried to run it, it should give me a syntax error. So it'll probably be something like that. And if you tell us what it is, we can help you. Check for typos, yes. Typos are really common. And in other programming languages, maybe you'll forget like a semicolon or something and be looking for it for a very long time.
It gives an attribute error.
Attribute error. Did you do you have import random at the top? Typing mistake, typo, attribute error. Attribute error. Have you seen an attribute error before, Victor?
No, I have not. I have import random. Did you put random.randint? That might be.
Make sure it's spelled exactly like this. I'm wondering if I like misspell it, if it'll give me an attribution error. Yes. Okay, yes. So make sure that this dot randint is spelled exactly as it is here. Because otherwise, apparently you get an attribute error.
Yep. The more we learn.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You guys are teaching me things.
Okay, sweet. He got it fixed.
Awesome. And then we're just going to add a couple more variables just while we're here. One for chances. So this will be like the number of times that a player guesses. And then we'll do max chances. And this will be like the most number of times that you'll let your player play. And like, if you're really mean, you'll make it 1 and they only get 1 chance. Or if you're really nice, you'll make it like 100. But for now, we'll do 5. Okay. Just a random number for now. But as like, if you wanted to go back and like redevelop this, then you could change this number of chances, or you could do a whole bunch of cool things. So yeah, these are the variables that we'll need. And shout in the chat when you're ready to move on.
We have a couple of readies.
Awesome. This. I just realized this is capitalized. So moving on. Okay. So this isn't actually going in our number guessing game, but we are going to use it a little later, so I'll explain it now. Can anyone tell me what a loop is, or like what it does, or like what it's useful for?
So we have someone saying it runs something X times, which is a great way of explaining a loop. Repetition to repeat code. Yep. Those are all
awesome.
pretty good answers.
Yeah, you guys are really on it. These are really good answers. And yeah, that's exactly what a loop does. You want to like repeat code over and over so you don't have to type something over and over again. Like, so for example, Let me give you an example. So for example, if I wanted to print hello like 100 times without a loop, I would have to go, oops, not like that. Without a loop, I would have to go. You can see that after a while it starts to get very repetitive, and then it starts to like really take up a bulk of your code, right? So that's what we use loops for, is to make that a little easier so we don't have to go and type la 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 over and over and over again. So yes, it's got it. You guys are on it. And then there are two different kinds of loops. Again, sorry for all the jumping. And the first type that we'll talk about here is for loops. And basically, for for loops, when you use for loops, you know the number of times that it's going to repeat. So for example, here we know it's going to repeat 4 times. And here we know it's going to repeat 100 times. So we have a specific like number of times that we know that it's going to repeat or iterate. Can't use the word iterate here, but iterate basically means like repeat. It's one repetition of a loop. So yeah, any questions about for loops? They do repeating, and you can specify the exact number of times that you want them to repeat. To talk about while loops. So yeah, like this, like it says at the top here, while loops are better used when you don't know how many times you're going to iterate. So for for loops, we could say loop 4 times, loop 100 times, loop 53 times. But while loops, it's a little less structured.
Sorry to interrupt. We have an error.
Okay.
It says make square not defined.
Make square. Oh, okay. So in this for loop, you don't actually have to type this. This isn't for the number guessing game. This is just so I can show you what for loops look like. And don't worry if when we move over to Replit, I'll be very like you'll see me physically move over to Replit. Although I guess I did type hello, but I'll be sure to be more careful about telling you exactly when you should move over to Replit. So sorry about that. Yeah, you don't have to type these for loops, and you're gonna get an error because make square actually isn't in your program yet if you just type it like this. So your Python doesn't recognize that make square just even exists because you haven't written it yet. So yeah. So sorry about that. I'll be a little more careful. But yes, where was I? While loops, you don't know how many times you're going to iterate, but it does the same basic thing. It'll repeat something over and over and over again until a certain condition happens, or a certain number is a certain thing, or something is true. And it'll be a little more obvious later, I hope. But do we have any questions about while loops?
What's the difference between the two?
Yes, okay. So for loops are better when you know exactly how many times you want something to run. So here we say for x in range 4, which means repeat this 4 times. So you'll say, so it'll call this make square function. It'll go make square, make square, make square. And you specifically feed it a number that like you know how many times it'll repeat. That's what for loops are better for. And then while loops are better if you don't know how many times. So for example, like this example here, it's waiting for user input. So it's like you don't know when the user is going to type stop. So it's saying basically keep going, keep going, keep going. And if the user types stop at any point, that's what this input does, is it reads keyboard strokes from a user. When they type stop, we'll stop the loop. So for loops are better when you know how many times you're going to iterate, and while loops are better when you don't know how many times you're going to iterate or repeat. But they both do the same basic thing. And sorry. And they're both very, very similar. These are just kind of like subtle differences, but they both do pretty much the same thing. Yes, so now we're going to use another while loop. And like I said, we're using a while loop because we don't know exactly how many times like the user is going to take to get the answer right. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to write while, because it's a while loop, chances is less than max chances. I have a little colon here. And then after you type a colon and press enter, it should automatically like space over for you. So you don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to get some input from the user. Like I said before, we're going to say guess equals input. And basically what this does is, let me print guess so you guys can see what prints. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to repeat over and over, and whatever number you type here, it's going to print it. And it's just going to keep going because the while loop is just repeating and we haven't like told it to stop yet. And it's just going to keep going forever and ever and ever. So, but we don't actually, I'll keep it there for now. So yeah, type these 3 lines of code. And does anyone have any questions? Need me to explain again what it does? Maybe what this input does? Slow down, Vensan. Anything like that?
Indentation error. Okay.
Yes, okay. So make sure that these are tabbed over, and it should automatically tab over when you press enter. But just in case, make sure you have a tab like spacing here.
Yeah, so like when it does, okay, Deshaun got it. And then
Awesome.
Crystal said, mine's not running numbers.
Okay. So it's just doing nothing? Or?
Mine isn't running numbers either.
Okay.
It just says the title on. Did you print the guess? That might be.
Yeah.
Make sure you.
Yes, I have this here to show the results of like the input on the screen. That's what this print statement does. That might be it.
No, I don't think it matters if there's a space between parentheses guess.
Like here?
Yeah, I don't think that really matters.
I don't think it. Are your spaces?
Yeah. What should happen? So you should have a blank screen, and then each number you type in, it's going to get repeated, sort of. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Or is Vincent back? Okay, sweet. So let's move on. So now we're going to go over if else. So these are basically conditionals, like the words. And so here we have A and B as variables. And we say if B is greater than A, then we're going to print B is greater than A. So this is a very useful thing when it comes to programming because, yes, we can add if statements and if else statements, which are very important. Does anyone have questions about if else? Oh yeah, don't run it. This is just an example. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. So now this is an if else. So we have A is equal to 33 and B is equal to 33, and we're gonna have the same code as earlier. So if B is greater than...
Can you hear me?
back?
Okay.
Hey.
I moved.
Yes.
I reset. Okay. Keep going. You know, don't want to interrupt the flow.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So like in the previous slide, we're going to do if B is greater than A, and then we have a colon, and then we're going to print out B is greater than A. And then the next part is a new thing. It's elif, or else if. CS also likes abbreviating things, if you guys haven't noticed yet. So yeah, this is basically checking if A is equal to B. So when we want to make sure, when we want to check if something is equal to the other, we have two equal signs. But when we're assigning a value to a variable, there is only one equal sign. And yeah, this can be a little confusing sometimes. But yeah, after that, we just print out A and B are equal. So that's an if-else statement. Do we have any questions about that?
Oh, we have a question. Yes, what does if-else mean?
Oh, it's basically just like the word. So if it's true, if whatever our statement is, so here in this case, or yeah, so here our statement is B is great, if B is greater than A. So if this thing is true, only then will it print out B is greater than A. If it's false, it won't print it out. It's going to give you a blank screen. Similarly, if A is equal to B, and that is true, that statement is true, which in this case, is it? Do we have answers?
Not yet. Yes, there's a yes in the chat.
Yep, it is true, because 33 is equal to 33. So for us, it's going to print out A and B are equal, because A and B are equal. In this one, our A is equal to 33 and B is equal to 200. What is it going to print? Is it going to print this statement?
B is greater than A? Yes. It'll print B is greater than A.
Yep. Sweet. Okay. Before we go ahead and code it out, what if A was equal to 300? What would it print anything? So let's say A is equal to 300 and B is equal to 200.
In the chat, we have a no because it's false.
Yep.
Dang, you guys are on it. No, because it's false. Yep, you got it. Cool.
Okay, so now let's go get to the coding part. Sam, do you want to take over from me? Okay.
All
Sweet.
right.
I will stop sharing.
Cool. Hopefully this works and you guys can all hear me and everything's all swell. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go here and press enter and it should automatically just be tapped. And what we're going to do here is add our if else statements. So let me see, where are we? Are we here? We're here. What's the elif? Okay, cool. Just making sure. So what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna say if yes equals number. So guess is what the user inputs, right? If it's the same thing as number, can anyone tell me what we should do?
You're not sharing your screen.
I'm not? Oh, shoot.
No.
Oops. I totally thought I was. I totally clicked share. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me just do that again. Rewind. Okay, hop in. Okay, anyway, we're gonna press enter and it's gonna automatically tab in. And now we're gonna type if yes equals number. Colon enter. And then, yeah, could anyone tell me what we should do if the guess is the same thing as the number? It basically means that they guessed the number correctly. So we're gonna print it. So if they guessed, if what they put was the same thing as the random number that we generated in the beginning, that means that they won the game. So we're gonna do something like print. Congratulations.
Sony said say yay and end. We could very well say yay, we're done, or something like that.
Maybe a little enthusiastic, but that's okay. And I'm gonna take this out just because I didn't realize that it already prints. So if we stop and we run, basically it's gonna generate a random number from 1 to 9, and then we're just gonna keep pretty much guessing until we get it. So like, I guess it wasn't 1. Oh, okay, so I guess the number was 2. So now we guessed it and it was right, and it's gonna say, yay, we're done. So yeah. Very happy congratulations message. I like it. And then one more thing for this slide. Do you guys want me to wait a little bit for you to catch up, or can I go on to the next?
2 minutes,
Sure.
maybe? Because we have someone saying, hold on, please.
Sounds good. I'll just keep adding things. There's like the anyway, you don't need this. But does everyone understand why we're printing the congrats message here? It's because this condition will be true when we because if the guess is the same thing as the random number, like, yay, we're done, congrats, the game is done, and you can hit run and start again.
Does that text have to pop out if we press run button? He got which text? The yay, we're done?
The yay we're done won't pop out unless you guess the right number. So I've just been like typing numbers in here, 1, 2, 3, and it doesn't print out until guess is the same thing as number here. Maybe if I print number, it'll look a little clearer. Or would that be confusing? I don't know. I should mention, I think if you type in anything that's not a number, value error, yeah. So if you run your program and you type anything that's not a number, I also did not know this, which is pretty cool.
So it should just repeat what it'll repeat what you type until you get the right number, the computer generated, and then you should get this message, the yay, we're done. Only the numbers.
Wait, did it not? Did I miss one? That's weird. Oh, it's not running.
Yeah, don't type letters, just numbers.
Yep. Cool.
Sweet. Does anyone have any other errors before I guess we move on? Or is everyone good to go?
I'll move on.
Maybe.
We have one more little bit of code for this slide, and then we can pause it.
It says fail to reconnect for Marcos.
Okay, so what I'm gonna have you do is highlight all of your code and right click copy or Control C. The only thing is, since we don't have accounts, it's not gonna like save your code unless you create an account. So you can copy it, refresh it, and then paste it back in. Or paste it into like a Word document and put it back in. But I think refreshing hopefully will fix your problem.
But make sure you copy the code.
Yes, please make sure to copy the code.
Yep.
And I'm gonna just move on real quick. We have until 12:15, right? Okay.
Yep.
So like Sitka said, we're gonna she was talking about elif, which is like elif, it'll go in here if guess is not number, is not this like randomly generated number, and we're gonna give it a condition. We're gonna say else if guess is less than number. We're gonna have a print message. So if their guess is less than number, we'll tell them, hey, you should guess higher. Like this, print your guess was too low. Too low. So now, if we stop this and rerun it, if I enter in some number, I guess it was too low, so I should guess higher. Too low, higher. And then, yeah, it goes so on and so on until we guess it correctly. And we'll do the same thing if they guess too high too. And that'll be like the basic gameplay core mechanic.
Can anyone tell us the code for the higher your guess was too higher part? Like what would be our condition be?
Yeah, here, you guys can tell me what to type. You have the power.
We got guess is greater than number. Elif guess greater than number.
Greater.
And print. Yep.
Print.
Number, colon.
What should I print?
We have your guess was too high with 3 exclamation marks.
3 exclamation points. Your guess was too high. 1, 2, 3. All right. So now, we'll stop. We'll run it again. And it'll generate a random number between 1 and 9. What should I guess? Any numbers?
Give us the number.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. I'll do 5. So it's too high. So I'll go lower. I'll guess 2. Your guess is too low. So I know it's between 2 and 5. 3. Nope. So yeah, that's basically how this game goes. Many exclamations.
We have an we have an invalid syntax error.
Does it make invalid? Yeah, typo. Make sure there's a colon at the end of the condition. I'll put this code back up here. Yeah, make sure make sure this is a double equals. Make sure there are colons here. Your parentheses all match. If you're missing a parenthesis, it'll give you a syntax error too. There's a bunch of little like random small things that'll oh wow, I guessed it first try. That'll mess up your program. But should be easy enough of a fix. And make sure that your all of your if statements are lined up. So you should see these like little lines here that should be lined up exactly, so that Python knows that this is all being repeated inside the while loop. So you see this like big line, it applies to all of these lines inside here. Yeah. Run it again and I'll give you guys some more time. This is too low. Oh, hey, I'm great at this.
You should put the range higher, like maybe 1 to 100 or something.
All right. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. You're
Just not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty just kidding. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. And these if statements are pretty much driving the game for now. And it's telling you, oops. And it's making decisions based on what this guess here is. So yeah, we're done. I'm gonna try again. Hey. Anyway, are you guys ready to move on, or do you still need some more time? Does anyone else have any other errors?
Sean, it's still not working for
Okay.
me.
Is there do you have an error to, or what error is it?
It's an invalid syntax error. So it's something with the syntax.
So it's got to be like one of these parentheses, maybe a colon here.
Make sure they're spaced
Yeah,
properly.
make sure this says elif, and that there's a space here. Make sure like print is spelled correctly. I think spelling it incorrectly will give a syntax error too. Yeah, sometimes you have to be a little careful.
Like, do your parentheses match up? So, like, is everything spaced right?
If you click by a parenthesis, it should like highlight the closing parenthesis or like the opposite parenthesis. So like you should see like this is a good way to check if your parentheses are good. Yeah.
Make sure there's no spelling mistakes. Should be elif. Maybe
Print.
Make sure that's right.
Yeah. Make sure that like guess is spelled right. All over here. Numbers spelled the same. I don't know. I always misspell things like variable names, and it always knocks me off my game.
Yeah. You said, yeah, no, I broke
it. Could you? Is there an error message that you could send us?
Yeah, like just copy the error message
All
and
of the
put it
all
in
of
the
the red
chat.
text.
If that might help.
So all of this like red stuff. I'll put this back.
It just isn't printing anything. Okay. Is it printing the number guessing game, the top one? Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess type in random numbers. Yep.
Okay. Sorry guys, bear with me. Anyway, as I was saying, so else is slightly different than else if because here you had to give it something like a specific condition. Guess is less than number. But here you don't have to give it anything. Basically what this says is if B is greater than A, print this, but otherwise no matter what, if B is not greater than A, do this. So you don't have to give it a condition. So that's what that difference is. Does anyone need me to like explain it again? You guys okay with that? And then we have one last part, which is you can basically combine all of them together. So you could make this as a chain as long as you want. You could say if this, else 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 if this, else. And you can just keep it going. But the point of this whole slide is you can combine all of them together. Else if should always go before else, just like logically, because it's like a, how do I explain this? It's like, how do you explain why else ifs always go before else's?
Because we need to test out those different conditions. So else is basically at the very end. So after covering all the conditions, all the stuff that we want to check, for everything else, we use else, if that makes sense. So we have our first if statement, because that's how you start the block. Oh, Marco's, his entire thing just got erased. The code.
No. Okay, Marcos, during the lunch break, you can, okay, how should we do this?
He asked if
Sitka
someone...
has the code. Do you want to like maybe just send him what we
No.
have already so he doesn't fall behind?
Yeah, we have a couple of people who sent their code to him. He might just have to space it out.
Oh, okay. Oh, you guys are so nice. Cool.
Yep.
There's that community.
Yep. So
Awesome.
basically, just this block of code, we always start off with an if statement, and we check out these different conditions. And then for specified conditions, I guess, we use elif. For the rest,
yes,
we use else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you want to specify something specific, like here, else if A equals B, you can. Yeah. I guess it's just a good thing to remember that else always goes last.
Yep.
But yeah. That's done. So I'm gonna go. So yeah, this is. Oh, you guys already filled this in. You guys are on top of the game. It says your guess was too high. So now what we're going to do. This is one of the last things that we have to do. We're just gonna go back, and we're gonna say chances plus equals 1. And basically what this does is this, or maybe this is a little clear, chances plus 1. So we're basically adding 1 to chances and shoving it in that variable space. So every time they guess a new thing, we're going to add 1 to the number of total times that they've guessed. And if at any point it's greater or equal to 5, we're gonna say that they lost. So done. So that was too low. That was also too low. Too low. So then it's not going to be that obvious because we still need to have a print statement here. But for now, just have this line. We're going to increase the number of chances every single time we make a guess. And then one last if statement. Does anyone think they could tell me what the if statement is? It has to do with chances and max chances. It's okay if not. I was wondering if anyone could guess.
We have if chances is equal to 5.
Very, very, very close. So we're going to say so 5 is max chances, right? So that's it's almost exactly it. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if chances greater than or equal to max chances. And you can also, you could totally make this 5, which is what's here. But we're just going to use this variable name here. So if you wanted to change this, you just have to change it up here. Yeah, that's exactly it. Really good job. And then we're just going to print use 5. Yeah. So now this is the entirety of the game. So it's pretty simple, but really good job, you guys, for following along with me. And I'm sorry for any like technical difficulties, but let's see if we can get it. Okay. Oh no.
Oh,
Fine.
oh my
Man.
God.
So yeah, I lost that one, but you know, we'll try again. Let's see. Oh, I already guessed 25. I meant to type 15. Oh man.
Oh my God.
This is super thrilling gameplay. Dark Souls, who? Breath of the Wild, who?
Too low.
Okay.
You got it. Oh my God.
All right, not my thing, but I'll keep this here in case you guys need it, and I will make sure to find some way for you guys to have access to it after this. But this is it. As maybe you guys can help me. We'll do a little bit of coding on the spot. Maybe if you guys think of any like features that I can add here, I can see if I can like try and introduce them. Like, what's a thing we could add? Something to add to this game. I'm not creative.
Do we have any recommendations on what we could add? Oh,
Just in the meantime.
so Deshaun said try again at the end, maybe?
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Okay. So let's say, wow. How should we do this? Okay. Maybe we'll have a variable up here to like to see if the user wants to keep going. Equals true. Not a semicolon. So we have this here. Oh, is it a capital T? Okay, yeah. So there's this concept of like true or false booleans in computer science. I didn't go over it, but basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna have a variable, keep going, and for now we're just gonna assume that the user wants to keep going. We'll keep it true, and then we'll say while going equals true. And then I think I'll put this entire thing that we just wrote and tab it over one so that it's inside this while loop. And what I'm gonna do is in like if they lose or if they win, how should I do this? Yeah, okay, I guess if they lose or if they win, we'll ask them if they want to keep going. And if they do, then we'll set keep going to true. And if not, we'll set keep going to false, and we'll break out of this loop. So we'll say something like, yay, we're done. Keep going. And then we'll have them type like a yes or a no. I think that makes sense. Let me know if I'm going too fast. I feel like I'm going a little fast. But basically we're gonna have an if statement here that's like, if they say no, keep going is false, and then we just break out, something like that. I feel like there's an easier way to do this. Is there an easier way to do this? Is input strings? Should it be what? I think it's this.
Yeah.
Angie, do you want to say hi? You're too heavy for me to lift up. There's a tongue here. But anyway, input is no. We're just gonna say keep going equals, equals false. And then, so there's this thing called a break statement. And basically what it does is if you're inside a loop and you call break, then it's just gonna exit out of that loop.
Yep.
So let me see if we can, I'm gonna reduce this. Let me see if this works. I'm gonna reduce this to like 5. Gonna run it here. Oh. Okay, so then 1. Guess what's too low? Okay, we're done. Keep going. If I say yes, I should be able to. Okay, cool. Oh, but then, okay. So I reset the game here, but then I don't reset chances. So it's still gonna think that I've made 4 chances, even though I've started a new game, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna change chances back to 0. Does that make sense? I'll leave this up for everyone in case you want a handle on this. And if Sikta will remind me to also put this on the drive so we can get like a link to it.
Yes, I'll remind you to do that.
Also, did you write down all of the
yes
stuff? Okay, cool.
So
now,
okay, we have a couple more recommendations.
Oh, awesome! You guys are great. let me finish this one and then we can go on.
Okay.
So if input equals n, keep going equals false. Else. Oh, sorry. Elif. Oh wait, hold on. Else. We'll just do else. Okay, so what do we want to do? We just want to break out of this loop, right? We just want to break. Chances equals 0. 0, break. That makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm gonna put like a little. Please guess a number. Please guess a number. Just so that like we know whenever this loop starts over, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's test this. Run. Okay, run. Please guess a number. 1. Your guess was too low. 2. Okay, we're done. Keep going. Yes. Okay. Okay, we're done. Keep going. No. Oh, okay, something happened. What did I do wrong? Keep going as false. Break. And then it should break out of here too, right? A lot of punctuation marks here. Anyway. It's like, what did I do wrong?
Break. What if you just add another break
on the outside?
On the outside.
Okay, we can try that. Here, right?
Yep.
If keep going equals false. Break. Oops. Okay, we'll try that. Okay. Please guess a number. 2. Yay, we're done. Keep going. No. Ah, no. Is it this? Like, is it a string? Does anyone?
Let's see. Maybe put single quotes. I don't think the single quotes or double quotes matter, but try doing that.
A conundrum. Where did I go wrong?
So there.
Jesse, is Jesse here? Does Jesse see which one? Quit the game. Hold on, I promise I know what I'm doing, maybe. Oh! Do you see that, Sitka?
Oh, okay. See? Yep. Double equals. It's okay, Vensan. It's fine. There we go.
If you ever feel like discouraged or anything, I'm a grad student and like I make little mistakes like this all the time, but that's what I did. I put a double equals here, which is for like comparing two things, instead of a single equals, which is for like changing values. So we've got that now. I think we're okay. We'll try again.
Yep.
Please guess a number. 2, too high. 1. Okay, we did it. Keep going. Please guess a number. 1. Yay, we're done. Keep going. No. Cool. Okay. We did it. Go team. We're getting pretty close. You said there were other features? Other things?
So we have one which says print a graphic when you win, and then the other is could you get it to tell you the answer after 5 chances? Or print the user. Yeah.
The answer is good after, let's see. Okay. So this is, if you lose, we can print the answer here. We can say print answer was actually the answer. Little passive aggressive, maybe. And then, can we concatenate? I think you can just do this, comma number, which is the original, like, the original number that you guessed in the beginning. I believe if you wanted to add like a variable to the end of a print statement with a string, I think you can just do this. Let me check. So let's purposefully lose. Oh wait. Please guess a number. Guess was too low. Unfortunate. Lose, the answer was actually 5. Okay. So that one's done. And then a graphic?
Yeah.
These are fun. These are really fun. Okay. Yay, we're done. Let's see. Like ASCII art or something. I can't do a graphic, but I can do ASCII art. How should we do this? What kind of thing should I do?
Maybe like a happy human, a dancing
human? Like,
sure.
Let's try. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I promise I'm going somewhere with this. Maybe like, does that look happy?
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Okay. Wait, like this?
Yep. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's gonna escape it. Okay. Backslashes are kind of weird in strings like this. So you have to put it twice to get it to like register, which is a little weird. But
could you make the head of the person a little bigger?
Sure. Or is that good?
Maybe, yeah.
It's either that or a 0. I don't know which one looks better. We'll try it. Okay. Please guess a number. 2. Yay, we're done. Keep going. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, is it always 2? What? Oh, I have to. Okay, we found a bug. We found a bug. I have to. After all of this, I have to reset number because otherwise it's just gonna stay the same, right?
Yep.
This is programming. Okay. So we reset number, and now I think we're good. Oh, I have to do it if we lose too, right? And then just like copy and paste all of this here. Sorry if I'm going fast. I'm just like kind of free coding, but 204. Yay, we're done. Keep going. Yes. So now if we get all of it wrong, we should be able to keep going. Cool. Okay. And that's that on that. So yeah, maybe I think this is a good place to stop. What we're gonna do now is we're going to create a new Python program. So do you guys need some time to like copy and paste your code to like a Word document to save it or something, or to create an account? Do you want me to give you guys some time to do that? I don't want you guys to lose all of your previous code. Note to self and also Sitka to just start off by having them make accounts. Is everyone ready to get started? We don't have a lot of time. I hope we can get through it. Yes? Okay. Good enough for me? Let's go. All right. So what we're gonna do is, let me share my screen. Gotta remember to share my screen this time. I remember. Okay, share. Let's see, we're all good. Perfect, awesome. Okay, so, oh, there's my little hello in the, I'll just clear that out. Okay, so we're gonna create a hangman, and I think it would be a good idea. You can have like my screen up on one side and then have Replit up on the other side of the screen, and we can just code together. And Sikta will give me a shout if there's any questions. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna declare a whole bunch of variables. And can anyone remind me what a variable is?
Okay, so a letter you assign to information so you can store stuff.
Yes.
It's kind of like a placeholder to represent something else. That
placeholder, I love that. Great, super great. Okay, so we're gonna declare some variables. We're gonna start off with just like the word that we're gonna want them to guess. Can anyone just give me like a random word that you want? It doesn't matter which word.
Pizza.
Pizza? Yep. Love that. Okay, pizza. Word equals pizza. And then we're gonna have a variable to keep track of whether or not they've won. So win equals false. And we're gonna start it off at false because at the beginning of the game you don't really know whether or not you've won or not. So win equals false. And then probably should have, did I cut out arrays in Cammy's little presentation?
I think so.
Did I? Okay, that's might be, I'll explain it. So we're gonna, does anyone know what an array is? It's okay, for the sake of time, I'll go. So an array is basically like, we explain it, they're like cubby holes or like lockers where you store a bunch of data all together. So yeah, that's basically what it is. You can you can access any information and it's all together in like one spot, like having a collection of like cubbies or lockers or buckets of information. So that's what that is. And then for when you want to use an array, we use brackets, and that's why we have those keys here, because we're going to have an array of words that the user has, or of letters, sorry, that the user has guessed. So we'll just have that there. And be sure to stop me if you have any questions. I'm going to keep going. Display. So this is gonna be an array, so a collection of all of the things that we want to show to the user after they guessed. And in this case, you know how in Hangman you just start off by like writing the lines? So like if the word is pizza, we would write 5 lines and we would have the user like guess letters. That's what we're gonna do here is we're gonna have single quotation mark and then an underscore, single quotation mark, underscore 5 times. And this is basically going to be the array that we like display to the user. There are different ways of doing this, but this is the way that Cami did it. So we're gonna and then so that we have a couple more we have one more variable, but is everyone okay with this?
Does everyone understand what an array is? Or
yeah, I can totally explain it again, or maybe Sitka can explain it, have it in different perspectives. But yeah, an array is basically just a collection of values.
It just has to be the same data type. So if you have integers, it just has to be integers. If it's strings, so like right now we're going to be playing with words. So those are strings. So it just has to be strings. We cannot have integers and strings together.
Actually, never mind. These are all the variables we're going to use for now. Yeah, I'm good with this. So yeah, okay, we have this. And now we're going to like say, hey, start guessing. So I'm just going to have a print statement here. It's like start guessing, sing. And then print, oops, not println, a string with 5 of those little lines. Oops, 3, 4. So now if we run this, we'll have a little like starting point for them to like see how many words are in or how many letters are in the word. So yeah. And I think I'll stop here and let you guys catch up. Does anyone have any questions? Looking at my code real quick. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna, just like the last time, remember when we had a while loop that was like while keep going equals true or something like that, and we like kept the game going until the user pressed N, right? We're gonna do something similar here where we have another while loop, because we don't know exactly how many turns it's gonna take. So we're gonna do while.
We have an error. It says
an error. Okay.
It's in the line 1, word is equal to pizza, not. Oh, you need to add double quotes on both sides of pizza.
Very important.
So
this is so Python knows that it's a string. Make sure false is capitalized. Make sure you have the right number of like brackets and underscores and stuff. I'll wait a little longer. Just like with the or not just like, but very similar to the number guessing game, we're gonna have something that repeats because we want the user to keep pressing letters until they get the right ones, right? So we're gonna say while when equals false. So in the way that we're gonna write this, we're only gonna stop the game once they have all of the letters right, which is a very forgiving way of playing Hangman. And I don't think we have time to get to it, but maybe I can post the code that I have that makes it like a little more complex, but like it'll display the Hangman every time, and maybe I can even like play it for you guys before we break up here. But anyway, so we're gonna do this in a while loop, and we're gonna get more input like we did before. Guess equals input. And then inside this input, we're gonna say guess a character. Guess a character. Character. Or maybe like. So what this does, when you put these little like this little red sentence inside input, it'll actually like print that onto this little black screen when you go to like type it. So it'll have me guess a character, and it'll just keep going because it's in a while loop and we haven't put in anything else to like change it. But this is similar. I'm also gonna put like a space here so that it's a little easier to see. Like that. So yeah, does anyone have any questions about this?
Okay, so make sure you guys have equals when you guys are testing.
Yes.
Okay, so while, when, equals false. I said that 3 times.
Double equals.
Yep, double equals.
It's because double equals is used to like for checking if things are the same, while a single equals is like for assigning a value to something. So it's slightly different, and even I get it like mixed up sometimes. So no worries, you guys are doing great. Yeah. Cool. Is everyone all ready? Feeling stressed? You only have like 20 minutes, so I'll move on. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to change this array right here, depending on whether or not the user like guessed the word correctly. So we're gonna type in here a for loop because we know we want it to be the exact same length as the word. Because how do I explain this? What this for loop is gonna do is if the player gets a letter right, we're going to like replace one of these with the letter. So like, for example, if they guess I, we're gonna put an I here, and then it'll print this. I hope it'll make more sense as I go. But we'll do a for x in range, and then we're gonna do it the same length as the word. So this is our first line, and let me explain it a little bit. So you know how before we had like a 4 here or a 100 here, and we knew that this would repeat 4 times or 100 times? This is the same thing, except instead of 4 or 100, it's just the length of the word. So in this case, it's 5. So for x in range 5, it would repeat 5 times for every single character in the word. Yeah. And then we're going to do, we're going to have an if statement, and we're going to say if guess in word.
Oh, Vincent, is there a way to zoom into your screen? I mean, make the text a little larger. Is that okay for everyone?
Is that better? Yeah, sorry guys.
Better?
Is that good?
Okay, yep.
Cool. If guess in word, we're going to, again, colon, enter, and we're going to do display at x. Oops. It's the value of guess. And what this does is it'll go to this display right here and say like, say say they guessed I, it would go here and change this to I. If they change Z, it would go here and change it to Z, if that makes sense. Is everyone okay with that? Does anyone have any questions? Cool. And then you could even like print display and we can see see its value. So for example, we'll stop, we'll run, guess a character. We know I is in there already. So it should, oh, bug, what happened there? Interesting. What did I do wrong?
Oh, you printed out display. Aren't you supposed to print out the
Display it. Oh, display it next.
yeah.
But it's still changing display. Did I get the spacing wrong? Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay. Interesting. If guess. Should there be a break here? I think so. So this should be good now. And I have I. It should just change I. It's fine. How should I wait? This code is interesting. We're gonna change it to this. Sorry guys. This code that I'm like referencing off is a little strange. I tested it before this, but it's okay. So we're gonna change it. We're gonna say if guess is the current letter that we're looking at, we're going to change display here and then continue. So let's see if this works. Run. Guess Z, sure. Z, that works. Cool. Okay. Oh, uh-oh. Interesting. This is kind of what coding is, where you just like keep testing and like changing things until it works.
Yep.
But what did I what
Let me look.
Oh, is it because I haven't added the other?
Probably that might be it.
Okay. It just feels okay. Hold on. All right. So we're gonna ignore that break, but we're gonna do an if guess doesn't equal. Sorry guys, I'm like, oh gosh, not my day. Okay, it's fine. Doesn't equal in, hold on, sorry. Wait, did I do this right? If guess words for x equals guess. Print. Okay, hold on. We're gonna start over. Sorry guys. Okay. I think it's not working because I like didn't have the whole thing, but we're gonna start back at the for loop and we're gonna keep going. So we're gonna have an if guess in word at x display of x equals guess. And then we're gonna print display of x and equals x. So what this does is it'll this if statement will evaluate if this character that you got here is in the word, and if so, it'll change this array, and then it'll print it, and we'll move on. And then I'll wait. Sorry for that little hiccup. I don't know why my brain isn't working right now. And then I'll just and then we're gonna tab over. We'll keep going. We'll have an if guess not in word. It's kind of like English, but not really. If guess not in word. And not in word. Okay, I'll pause here.
Okay.
And then I'll have you guys ping Sitka to move on. Sorry again.
You're good. You good. You good, my friend.
I'm having that post-lunch afternoon weirdness. Is everyone ready? Does anyone have any errors or questions or anything?
Crystal said mine's working so far, so
Cool. That's great.
that's a good sign.
I think it's like someone else wrote this code, and it's like weird to look at someone else's code. It's kind of strange, but it's okay. Okay, that works. Ignore what I said before.
Hey, we have an error. Deshaun said mine is not showing up right. And
Right,
he pasted
how?
his code.
Okay.
Let's see.
Tab. Citizen false. Guess equals display equals. That's where you start guessing. What's the?
You called it guessed, the array. That's supposed to be just. Oh no, that's fine. Okay.
No, that's good. That's fine. Guess equals input guess character. What is it? What does it show up like? I'll put this back up for everyone to look at.
Okay. Word is equal to pizza. Open is equal to false. Display that. Oh, it has him type a word. What? And nothing happens.
Type a word?
Yeah. He said it just has me have to type a word. Nothing happens. Or a letter. Okay.
A letter? Okay.
If guess not in word, not in word. Or literally in. I'm just gonna try matching up your code with his.
Yeah, make sure that the spacing is all right too. The tabs.
Yeah. So character range.
Is Jesse here?
If guess in word. Wait for X and. Yeah. He's taking a look at this too.
Okay, cool. Jesse, could we have you sort of debug his code so we're running a little low on time.
Oh wait, I think I found it.
Okay.
So Bashan, where it says for X and range, and then you go into the if statement, It should be if guess in word affix, not equal equals.
Oh yes, here. Yeah, I probably confused you before, but yeah, right here.
So yeah, make sure you have that and let us know if it's working or not.
Cool. So I'm gonna add just like a few more lines of code for us to look at. So we're gonna print not in Word, and then we're gonna take that. So this guessed array that we had before, we're gonna take the letter that the user had and add it. So we're gonna say guessed append. Append is basically the same thing as add. So yeah, so append object to the end of the list basically means add object to the end of the list. So we're gonna add guess. And then for easiness sakes, we're just going to say int here is what you've already guessed. And then I think we could just print guessed. Here. Guess.append guess. Guess is starting to not look like a word. It's a weird word. Anyway, so if we go back over here and we guess something that's not in the word, we'll say not in word. Here's what we've already guessed, Q, and it'll keep doing this for all of the things that aren't in the word until we do get something that's in the word. So yeah, does anyone have any questions on this?
Rashawn says, oh, I type a letter and nothing shows up.
Okay. It might be this little like, do you have this print statement here? I can't remember his code. But this is what is this for loop, this entire for loop is what's displaying this right here.
He has that part. It might be maybe the indentation and stuff.
Yeah, is it you should see like this big line and it should be just to the right of this
He says
line.
it just says guess a character over and over again. So yeah, make sure the print statement is not inside the if thing. So it should be not right
make sure
under
it's
display.
not here, but here.
Yep.
That makes sense. Here. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So we're gonna have an else here. So if guess is not in word, and then we're gonna have an else, which means that the guess is in the word. We're going to print that the letter was in the word. So then if we hop over here real quick, and I'll bring the code back. But if we hop in the code real quick, it'll say that letter was in the word. It's back here. And then we just have a couple more things, and I think we actually have time to finish this last little thing. Else, I'm gonna put this one last print statement in, and then, or this last if statement, sorry, and then we'll be done with this very limited hangman game. But I wish we had time to like add more features like we did before, but that's okay. So I'm gonna say if underscore not in display. And basically, so we're changing display as we guess correctly, right? So once we have all of these guessed correctly, then this little underscore won't be here anymore because it'll be replaced by a letter. That's basically what this is saying. So if the little underscore isn't there anymore and we've guessed everything correctly, we print you, oops, quotation marks, you win. Oops. And then we say when equals true. And I'll leave that there, but that should be the end of our little hangman game. And for now, and we'll test it in a little bit, and we'll see if it works the way that we want it to work. Let me run this so I can show you what it looks like. So we'll have start guessing. It's a random letter. It's not in words, so it'll give you a list of words that you've already guessed, like that. And then we can keep going. So if we get it right, if we keep going, that letter was in the word, you win. Not a satisfying ending, but I will post the code to this and hopefully you guys can look at it and gain a little more from it. Yeah. Teaching virtually is not the easiest.
It's a little difficult. Very difficult sometimes.